Hi, thank you for calling. My name is Daryl. How may I assist you today? Thank you for calling. So you would like to enroll in your Medicare open enrollment plan. Thank you. How's your day going for you today? Pretty good? Great. I have to ask you a few questions. Thank you. Do you have your medical card on you right now? Blue, red, and white card? Thank you. Can you give me numbers that are on that card? Thank you. Oh, I found you here. Thank you. And you're here for your open enrollment, correct? Yes. I just got a letter in the mail that states that I am able to enroll in Medicare Part A, B. And I'm just retiring, and I would like to get a supplemental plan also, because I heard you can get everything lumped in and you get over the counter money. And I'm on a fixed income, and why wouldn't I want that extra $650 a month for my health care to pay for my cost of medication, cost of food, because I'm on a fixed income? Not a problem, not a problem. Well, last year I found your plan. You were in the rural area, so I need your zip code. Oh, so we have plan 54312. Yes, this year we have plan 54312A. You don't have my old plan? No, we don't have that plan anymore. We made the plan better though. No. I want the same plan I had last year. 52341. That's all I want. I said, yes, ma'am. We do have that plan. We have a 53421A. This plan, same deductible, same out of pocket, and you hit catastrophic, same everything. The only thing has changed is your premium. Well, last year I only paid $49 for a supplemental plan that I added to my policy because I was working. So I had A and B. I didn't need a supplement. I have my dental, I have my vision taken care of by my employer. Not a problem, man. So how much more would it be this year? Well, I have an A and I have a B plan. The catastrophic and the B plan makes the monthly payment only $79.99 a month. Well, what's my out of pocket? Oh, your out of pocket cost went from $7,500 to $15,000. So my out of pocket cost increased by $7,000. Yes, you're increased by $7,000, but your premium only went up $30. But every time I have a doctor's visit, my copay went up $25. So now instead of it being $25, my copay is now $50. And when I go to buy my medication, instead of it being $75, it's $150 now because of the out-of-pocket cost that you now are responsible for. Yes, ma'am, I do understand that. But what that policy does give you, it gives you a rider plan for your dental. I don't need a rider plan. I just want the same plan I had last year. I don't have the same plan you had last year, man. The policies that they created during this time, they don't have the Affordable Care Act credits on there, man. So these are the plans that I have. Now, the plan that you did have last year, it went from $49.99 a month. Now it's $75 a month. How did the plan go from seven? But your out of pocket is $25,000 now. So no matter what you tell people and how you explain it, at the end of the day, the more I try to tell you this will affect you, this will affect you way more than what you expect. no matter what I say in this situation, people will think I'm trying to get famous. But at the end of the day, what insurance is the transfer of risk. So what they try to do is get a lump sum of money from the federal agencies so they can make a pot. And this pot transfers the risk. Because as long as they have that transfer, they can put it in this annuity, that annuity, and they grow funds. That's why mutual funds and all these different types of funds grow. Because a lot of insurance companies buy into these bonds so they can pay for losses that they occur. So there's a transfer of risk. The federal government knows this. So to make democratic states, which is it's ridiculous to me, you want to argue that a Republican-ran state is more fruitile than a Democratic-held state, which would be a great argument if there wasn't a factual alignment to that. So you can't tell me Idaho is doing more business than Ohio. Agriculturally, Idaho isn't sold any soybeans. So one big revenue generator in Idaho isn't making any money. But if you go to Ohio, they have agriculture there, but they also have other jobs, manufacturing, unions. So those plethora of organizations help pay into a pot. The more people go around thinking that an increase is excluding them, they're highly mistaken, because a premium is all about a transfer of a risk. So your car insurance went up because people were stealing Kias all the time. So the insurance company had to transfer the risk of Kias getting stolen onto the consumer. So everybody who lives in rural, populated areas with cars that are highly stolen a lot, their insurance policies went up. By their insurance policies going up, that made it easier for the insurance company to give policies to people in areas where they're highly impacted by theft. That's what transfer of risk does. So when an insurance company is pulling out of markets, it's not that they don't want to provide care. It's that they have to transfer their risk where they get the other party to take on some of the responsibility. So if a county's like, we're going to lose a hospital, it would not benefit an insurance company to put a policy in a neighborhood where you could go get an urgent care bill, you could get an Elma Emory bill, which those are like public ran healthcare systems. So you don't need a whole bunch of medical. You just need somebody in a building who has certifications to run it. You get some fellowships. You get doctors that aren't really making a lot of money and need to learn the clientele and how to take care of people. So they go to small little hospitals like that, little doctor's offices like that in the community. But those are ran by states. You know how hard it is to get an appointment at one of those locations? So you can smash this up into a conversation that nobody wants to hear. But the catch is the premium. No matter what anybody thinks, the premiums are going to be trickled down to everybody because it's called transfer of risk. Transfer of risk is what insurance companies use to be fruitile. So a policy is not guaranteed until you pay your premium. So if you don't pay your premium, you don't have a guaranteed policy. So your policy is not activated until you hand me some money. Once you hand me some money, you get a policy. The problem with that is that we are writing contracts right now. We're producing insurance policies right now based upon the forecast of what credits will be available to the consumer. No matter what these policies, Schumer, Jeffries, Thune, Vance, they're all talking a certain talking point. Their talking point is we're at a stalemate. So who can we blame for the stalemate? This doesn't have to do anything with the CR. The CR is clean if you want to go along with that. If you wanted to believe that something is clean till the end of a fiscal year, then tell the people that everything goes by quarters. See, there's 4 quarters in a year. So the more they tell you one sticking point, the less they tell you how their operation works. So as a working person, you rely on a paycheck bi-weekly. You rely on your premium to be taken out of that bi-weekly check. But what you don't see is, yeah, your premium might go up, but your cost of care could skyrocket. Because your premium could still stay the same because they're transferring the risk. Your policy, when you work for an organization, for example, they might give you a benefit policy package. That's great. The benefits in your packet, in your policy is good, wonderful, woo-woo. But they're selling you what you want to hear. If you don't ask me or get your information from your benefits, you don't know that I'm about to add this fee to your MRIs. So if it's life sustainable, you used to be able to get one MRI a year. But if they change the way the formula works for you to get a policy, that life sustainable MRI that used to be free because you needed it for cancer or some type of sustainable injury is no longer available to you. So now you have to pay out of pocket. So now you stressing about dying, or you're sick, or you don't feel well, and now I hit you with an out-of-pocket cost of $350. That may not feel like nothing to you because you feel like I got $300 to save myself. But now you got diagnosed. Now that you got diagnosed, all those deductibles become a cost to you. So every time you go see a professional or a specialist, that specialist is charging you not $25 a visit now, because there's transfer of risk. So now that visitation is now $300 because the premium that you paid stayed the same, but the transfer of risk fell onto the consumer because the policy that they created is now without the affordable credits that helped you afford those preventative services at a no cost in your premium. So now they don't have to say the Affordable Care Act no longer covers that. It's just in your premium that you pay it regardless, because it's a service you either need a referral for or you needed it regardless. So now it just becomes an out-of-pocket cost to you, which in the Affordable Care Act, which we explain to you when you buy a policy from us, these preventative services will be afforded to you. So that's where the misconception and the misunderstanding has been driven from. Healthcare isn't isn't you bought it and you got it. It ain't nothing like that. Healthcare don't even work like that. Healthcare don't even, just because I bought it, I got it. You buy into selective plans. So younger people, they may not have the Cadillac plan. They may have just the regular plan that covers your teeth and in emergencies, covers emergency care. You get pregnant women, they like to get health care so they can use it for paternity. So yeah, I got Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Woohoo! I only got it for paternity care. So you try to get his card off as a regular visitation because you know you bought the card for just parental, just to have a baby. But everybody else is sitting there saying, oh, this is Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, this is good insurance. I'll just run you as a regular person and you can get the service. Now the biller, he didn't go and check. So now when he checked, oh shit, I got to give you this health care for free. I got to write this off. So you have to understand the healthcare system writes off a lot of shit every day, all day long. So a lot of these organizations are leaving certain markets because the write-off ain't worth it either. Because if I got to write it off, I also got to let the consumer know that I wrote this off, and I might have to refund them money. Could you imagine being in a market that's shrinking without the federal subsidies, and they having to give out refunds to all these people because they thinking their policy was going to cover these things, and now the insurance company is responsible to cover those out-of-pocket costs, because in the contract it says if you exceed this amount of money, this cost, they have to forfeit back to you. Because of the Affordable Care Act, those costs weren't given to you, and they were taken care of by the federal government. So no one's sitting on the TV and taking 15 minutes to tell you how transfer of risk are now a propaganda tool for the wealthy. See, a lot of people who live in rural America, urban America, they get a black book. They sell annuities and healthcare. That's why when you look online, you see remote jobs. There's always 2 jobs online all the time. Global management, capital management, and you have to have a producer's license, because a lot of people in rural America sell plans for people who have land, and those people created that 20 years ago, 30 years ago with their dad's license. So their dad died with this company, and them same people and them families live in them same communities. So a lot of times these policies are written in archaic time. They got deals in it, they got verbiage in it that they don't use anymore as a fundamental tool, like long-term care. A lot of times you don't even hear anybody talk about long-term care anymore. Used to be a thing. Go to work, part of your fringe benefit was long-term care. Long-term care faded away. But there's a lot of older people who are now at that age who are benefiting from long-term care policies. Those policies were written by people from different management firms, different insurance brokers, different producers, and they found ways to transfer risk to your final days of your life. So not only is this playing into health care, but this will also play into all your subsidies that you have, like AFLAC, short-term disability, long-term disability. It'll also probably play into people who have life insurance with different types of inclusions in there. Because what the insurance policy do is it transfers the risk. So that's why a lot of times they ask you, how old are you? What age group are you in? Because you change the probability of them losing a bet at a certain probable manner. They speculate who their base is, and they futurize that into a stock, a liquid fund that they sell to other people. So you might have an aggressive stock, you might have a moderate stock, you might have just this plain Jane, just do what you do and be safe. But just like those markets have different, it's the same way healthcare works. It's just that it has never been sat down and explained to people that healthcare is like it's another way of buying life insurance. Because life insurance is for when you pass and you want to take care of your life after you're gone, so the people in your life are taken care of. What life insurance does is it maintains your quality of life while you're living, so you can maintain the best quality of life that you have. So what they do is they use two different sales approach for insurance. And what the big tizzy is, insurance companies were able for years to use the Affordable Care Act to subsidize the cost of preventive care. So when they sold you a plan, you were excited about the things that you used to pay out of pocket, no cost to you. Also being no cost to you is that that would lower the cost for everybody against the playing field, because if everybody's getting their blood checked, if everybody's always getting their MRIs or mammograms, or everybody's living longer and its cost is cheaper. It's the same thing we do with people working in different fields. It's cheaper to give the person a career that they're good at instead of forcing them to work a job they're going to quit. So it would behoove the insurance company to keep you healthy and safe, because they would hate to have to pay life insurance policies rather than premiums on healthcare, because a lump sum is terrible to pay an insurance company versus a premium of $800 for your MRI, $600 for a tooth extraction. That's cheap compared to $350,000 because you died. So what the insurance company did was they lobbied the politicians into thinking, look, our transfer, we will, with the hurricanes, with the bad weather, with everything that's going on, with COVID just getting out of here, if we have anything that can make people sick and die fast, it would be a time bomb for our healthcare system, because they're still trying to work their way out of COVID. You got to think, when COVID was going on, it was a money spree. If your ass got ran over by a bus, they labeled you COVID. You know why? They got $20,000 to say you was COVID and to find a way to dispose of your body. So they was just labeling everybody COVID. The insurance companies were making a killing, to the point where the insurance company was making so much money, they had to stop people from coding it COVID, because the federal government was paying everything. So now you're out of that, and they're like, look, if we have another biological health issue, it could destroy the healthcare. Look at the weather. The weather plays along with healthcare. Think about it. If they tear down a hospital because of a storm, where does those people go? And who pays for that insurance that hospital gets rebuilt? And who's going to replace the millions of dollars of equipment that was destroyed during that weather storm? So people don't realize how health insurance works with the financial well-being of our communities, our schools, our recreational activities, and our quality of life. Because the steel mill, for example, is polluting the air every day. But you have an Environmental Protection Agency that gets funded by the Sam Hershey agencies, which is the same agencies that help healthcare systems. So what do you think is going to happen when... you good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't care about you. I'm still a tech.
Oh, no worries. It's a good season right now. I'm going along with the flow, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. If everybody is fighting to be heard, everybody's not listening. If you judge everything by how you feel, you ain't gaining nothing. How can somebody who has less than all these rich motherfuckers and all this other shit be able to pull out a motherfucking verbatim how it worked? But a rich motherfucker can only tell you how weak you are, how less you are, what you ain't worth, what you can't do. I need to worry that my mother needs to be worried about me because you're rich. That's it. That's all you get to say is I got a problem with you being alive because I'm rich. But I have no problem with anybody. And what my skill set is to do is to help explain things to elderly people, handicapped people, and people without knowledge. Matter of fact, it says in the Word of God, that could be Allah, Yahweh, Muslim, Christianity, whatever. It said God take care of babies and fools. So who's the people that God blesses with the knowledge to help the fools and the babies? So at the end of the day, no matter how interested you are and not interested you are in anything in life, anytime you play with your health, you play with your car insurance, you play with your homeowner's insurance, you're playing with your life insurance, you're playing with your children's health. Because if you don't know what the Affordable Care Act was really to promote, it was to promote an ecosystem where everybody can eat healthy. Yeah, that's important. See, right now we in an emotional state. The country is in an emotional tizzy. Everybody has some emotion. I walked in the store and was playing with this lady. It's like, I need $1. I ran out of $1. The lady got scared. Was like, sir, I'll give you $1. I'm like, no, I just want to talk. I was just playing around. And what it is that everybody's unstable because one person came in earlier and over $1, he snapped. He brought up all the political issues of the world. He brought up all the reasons, his transgressions, everything over $1. So people were like, well, what is this person going to kill me for? What is this person going to hurt me for? No. Just because people got nice things don't make them nice people. The fact is that people that create good things had a good intention. That's all that matters, is the good that they had. They intended to create. People with money and wealth and all they have is their shine, that's all they got. They can't sit down and help you get any further than where they got. Except if they played the game that they have to play. When you don't have to play a game and you can do it from the bottom of your heart, they can destroy you, but they can't destroy the process that puts you in the same position the next 10,000 other motherfuckers gonna be in. See, regular people are regular. There's nothing special about regular. See, that's where special people got it fucked up. They think because they're special, they got recognized, they got validated, they got a talking point that makes them exclusive. And all it does is that it accommodates what they need from you. I'm a chauffeur, okay? I think I'm the best chauffeur in the world. I think. Some of the customers may think. But there's more than just me as a chauffeur. So I can't say I'm the only chauffeur. See, that's the problem with people who get selectively picked and handed a selective narrative. See, somebody who doesn't have a selective narrative can talk about anything. I ain't gonna lose a friend. I don't even want a friend. I don't even want, listen, they need everything they got to be successful. They need the engineer. They need the producer. They need the wiring man. They need the bus driver. They need the engineers. They need the choreographers. They need everything to survive. Because you ask that same person that all the things they can brag about, they don't want to wire the wiring into the motherfucking system. If they were so great, why don't they create a broadcasting system like the boy did for ABC? See, people are so great, they don't know great stories. All the man did was get a box truck and put wires in it, and they bought the idea. Everything people tell you, they tell you because the person that controls them, the person that gave them their opportunity, allows them to continue thinking, that's the way we gonna make money. All us other regular motherfuckers in the world, all us regular people, regular, like you get up and you put gas in your car the regular way. You don't have a special way to do anything. You can't even put your clothes on special. You just pull them on like every other regular person. When you regular, you don't fear things that are out of your control. The only people that care about you when you're regular are people that are threatened by your narrative that's going to change their popularity, because that has no common sense. That only lasts for so long. That can only be for so long. Just like your policy. Your policy is only good for 1 year. Go back to my mantra. You're only as good as your last day. So when January starts first, that policy you had and that life you used to live, it don't count no more. You in a new year in a new policy. And you got to deal with the new people that's in that policy. And those people you depend on with that policy to give you the best service available. That's from engineering you to producing you to anything you need. You signed a contract for 2026, and without those subsidies, you are not going to be the same person you was at 25 without putting out more to help yourself. So you can make up your story. You can write your bars. You can tell whoever you want. 2026 will be totally different than 2025. And if anybody tell you anything different, that's why the government is shut down. That is why it's shut down. Because when you start playing with people's health care, you actually are playing with people's livelihood. It's stronger than gas prices. It's stronger than heating and cooling prices. It's the strongest thing in your pocket, because your car insurance is like 10% of your income, and then that health care is going from 5% to 28%. So you got 50% of your income going to care. Why would you care about care when you abuse your body? You put poison in it. You poison other people's minds. You promote cereal music. Like, I gotta get a spoon and eat this shit at every moment in my life. But you can't explain or help anybody fix the problems in their community with your resources, because your resources don't allow you to speak up for the people that don't have the same resources as you.